How many times have you knocked that door and you didn't even look to see if there was a need for you to be there in the first place, thinking that you can only identify that once you've gotten on the roof? I'm gonna show you in 10 to 15 seconds how to identify if there's a real need right off the bat for you to even be there, and so you can actually transition from knocking that door to setting an appointment. All right, so first up, black streaking, otherwise known as tiger stripes. The black streaking is what we're going to see most commonly. It's the easiest one to use because you're going to see it right off the bat. You're going to see it from the road, right? Identifying that gives you ammo, tells you that somewhere, somehow, that roofing system is not breathing properly, okay? Whether it's felt paper underneath of it, whether it's a lack of proper ridge vent, these are the things that you can start to break down and look, but you know that you need to look at it by identifying the tiger stripes right off the bat, right? You can then present that to the homeowner. Hey, look, the reason I knocked on your door, I couldn't help but notice you've got those black stripes. How long have you been dealing with this? When were you planning on having something done with this? These are things that you can do, but you can't do it if you don't identify a problem in the first place. Number two, missing cupped or cracked shingles. You can see missing shingles from the ground. That will then get me in the home to see how many missing shingles we have and if we have enough to work with. But just seeing one is enough to say, hey, look, I noticed you're missing a shingle. You know, these shingles, especially have a certain age. Once one starts going or two start going, it's often true that all the rest that are even suspect are going to follow suit, right? So let's do something about it. Let me hop up there, take a look, and offer you a free inspection. That is a way to segue to the roof that's honest and real. Next, blue-green algae. It is easily identifiable from the street. Now, you might not be able to see it if it's up on the roof and tucked away in a certain area that isn't identifiable, but if you're doing a full walk around, right, just from the ground, or even just from the curb, I mean, that's what we sometimes, all we have is just looking from the street and we see these things. We then knock on the homeowner's door and we say, hey, look, I couldn't help but notice, but the front left side of your roof is completely covered in blue-green algae, which is mostly what we see here in the state of Maryland. It's going to be your blue-green algae, but it's moss, lichen, algae. It's the same thing, and the result or the cause of it is the same thing. And again, it is a lack of proper breathability, right? It's a moisture issue. That's also going to make me want to look at the interior as well and make me want to pop my head in the attic, which any good pro is going to do anyhow, but we can't start the conversation. We don't have a real need. And blue-green algae is one of the most visually obvious ways that we can say, hey, look, that whole side over there, I don't know if you think it looks cool or not, that rainforest you have on your roof, that's bad. We've created an awesome space for blue collar and home service professionals to meet, train, and level up. It's called the Blue Collar Ballers Union. If that sounds like something you're interested in, if you're a blue collar or home service industry pro and you want to take yourself or your business to the next level and get in the room and network with the best of the best within the industry, learn from one another and learn from some of the best coaches in the game, including myself, and I want to make that accessible and open to you all as well. That's where we grow and that's how we grow together. Come check us out, click the link. We hope to see you there. Next, we've got sagging. You can see just from, and you can always see from the curb if they've got sagging, and usually you're going to see it between the rafters, right? But sagging is an indication that the decking itself has been compromised, whether it's water damage or it's settled over time and maybe the builders didn't do something correct or maybe things weren't level. But just the same, if I see sagging, I'm going to at the very least wonder if that's a moisture issue, if there was a leak, or if you have some compromised roof decking under there, and I'm going to bring that to the homeowner's attention. I'm going to say, hey, come over here, you see how that's sagging right there? That's something that I'm concerned about. Again, it's a problem and something that we can identify to our client and in an effort to get in the home, right? So sagging is easily identifiable. It's literally sagging, and it's usually, again, between the joists, but we want to bring that to our homeowner's attention because we're aiming to show them the problem that we are going to then solve. All right, guys, so last but not least, dry rot, dead valleys. What I mean when I'm saying that, so you may have a valley that butts up against some siding. Maybe they have wood siding, and you see that the whole thing where the step flashing should be is just completely rotted away. There's a lot of inferences that can be made there. Now you're gonna have to get up there to find out exactly what it is, but that could be enough to get you up there. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, I couldn't help but notice that corner up there just below your gable is completely rotted away, or that corner there in that valley is completely dry rotted. Now you're not going to see this obviously on like a PVC or an aluminum siding house, but if you see any area, whether it's corner posts, anywhere that's even remotely near the roof line that's completely rotted out, you're going to want to bring that up and make sure that they understand, like, look, that's not good, and it could be an indication that the flashing or the ceiling that's supposed to be there isn't there. Let me hop up there, take a look. I'd be happy to do a free inspection for you, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention. So, and all of these things I just mentioned are things quite literally when I'm walking up a street, when I'm walking training in a neighborhood, I'm looking for these things. Now, if you're training a retail canvas group, they're looking for these things to justify knocking the door. So why wouldn't a insurance roofing salesperson do the exact same thing? That for me is like my biggest strength, is that I come from retail. That's my background, my backbone. So I'm trying to bring some of that to you guys and bring some of that retail element over to the insurance restoration side or the door-to-door side. Perhaps you're not on the insurance side, perhaps you're knocking doors and you do retail. Yo guys, listen, I hope you got something out of this. I really do. I could talk about this all day long. In fact, I do. So if you're interested in finding more about qualifying leads, creating systems, getting further into the systems and processes and really the science behind the sale, stick around. We go more in depth on all these topics in the videos coming up, and we hope to see you guys there. Love you guys.